Right, so in this video, I'm going to walk through how we've generated one of our clients $163,000 in just 90 days with email marketing. So I'm going to give you a step-by-step on how we've done this for one of our clients using just their current customer base and how you can do the same as well. So before I do that, since this is my first video on this YouTube channel, I want to introduce myself. So my name is Adam. I'm the founder of Gen Z Media, and we're an email and SMS marketing agency working with D2C e-commerce brands. So a bit more about myself. So I have a background in direct sales through door to door. I have a degree in commerce, and we have generated multiple six figures every single month for our clients. So it's safe to say I know a thing or two about email and SMS marketing. So before we dive into the nuts and bolts of how we've actually done this for our client and how you can do the same, there were four key components to our strategy. So first of all, we had in-depth market research. Undoubtedly, the most important part of your strategy. And again, we'll go into this in more detail down below. Number two is your automated flow structure for each part of the customer journey. Three is highly targeted email campaigns. And four, last but not least, is A/B testing. So step one, in-depth market research. As I said, it's the most important part of your strategy. If you do not know who you're talking to, you've absolutely no hope. You need to know what your customers' pain points are, what drives them to buy your products. And obviously, if you gather this data through, let's say, surveys, or obviously through your client, if you're an agency, this is going to help you to build a laser focused customer avatar, which then becomes your email and SMS blueprint. So it's vital that you know who you're talking to. So here's just a few ways in which you can carry out in-depth market research for your brand. So study your customer reviews. You should always look at your customer reviews and obviously look at the way that your customers are speaking. What did they like about the product? What did they not like about the product? What were they actually using it for? And try to incorporate the way they're speaking into your copy, particularly around pain points as well. So second, you can collect customer data from your clients if you're an agency. Third, you can gather this data from social media. So from social media analytics tools like from Instagram or Facebook, and you can see the customer demographics and all that kind of good stuff in those analytics tools. Another thing that you can do is sign up to top competitors' email lists and study their funnel. So sign up to their list, put an item into the cart, get the abandoned cart sequence, and try to see what they're sending, what kind of messaging it is. And obviously make sure that they're a good brand. Don't just do it for any random bog standard brand. Make sure that they're good. So step two is your automated flow structures. So for this client, we built out 10 automated flows from scratch. And that obviously included the ones here in the screenshot. And it's important that you know how many emails to include in each. Now, I will go in more detail in further videos about how to exactly build out these flows, what sort of content you need to put in there. But I'm just going to give you a high level view in this video. So in terms of how many emails you need in each. So for a welcome series, you're talking about 5 to 10. So for the abandoned cart, 3 to 5, checkout, 3 to 5, the browse abandonment, 3 to 5 again, site abandonment, 2 to 5, post-purchase, 5 to 10, customer win back, 3 to 5, VIP flow, same, window shoppers, the same, because you opened, kind of the same, 2 to 5. So some of these might be familiar, some of these might not be so familiar. And again, I'll go through this in much more detail in further videos where we'll break down exactly how we build out all of these flows for our clients and how they generate revenue on autopilot. But I assume that most of you guys would probably be familiar with these top four flows here, and obviously the post-purchase. So those 5 are going to be your highest revenue generating flows, depending on the brand, but 90% of the time it's going to be these 5 flows that are going to be moving the needle the most for your brand or for your clients. Now, some other kind of lesser known flows might be the window shoppers flow or the because you open flow. The window shoppers flow, that's primarily used to target customers who are coming to your store. They're viewing products, they're active on your site, they're kind of toying with the idea of actually purchasing from your brand, but they just haven't taken the leap yet. The because you open is quite similar. This is targeting customers who might have opened X amount of emails in 30 days. So what we normally go for is 5. You can even go to 3 or even go to 10, but we normally go with 5. So if a customer has opened an email 5 times in 30 days and still hasn't purchased, we'll send them an incentive to get them over the line. So it's a very, very powerful flow. It's quite underrated, and I don't see many brands using this at the moment when we do our audits on Klaviyo accounts. Now, step 3 is your highly targeted email campaigns. So it's very important that you mix up promotional content and educational content. You don't want to be bombarding your customers all the time with 10% off, $10 off, this percent off, free gift with purchase. You just get lost in the sea of noise in a customer's inbox. You need to be providing that educational content and invoke reciprocity with your customers. The more you give to your customers, the more that they'll probably purchase from you. And we have seen this in the results that we've been getting for our clients. The more value we're giving, the more sales that we get. You don't want to be overly selling all the time. Selling is good. You have to sell to generate sales, but you also want to give some educational content around your product. So like how to use this product in your, let's say, skincare routine, or let's say if it's CBD, like myths about CBD or something like that. Obviously, as well with, let's say, fashion, it's kind of harder to do educational content, but you can also do kind of behind the scenes content or messages from the founder. So just try to think outside the box rather than just sending constant promotional messages all the time, because that's going to lead to higher spam rates, higher unsubscribes, and people are just going to become blind to your offers eventually. So secondly, you want to send primarily, and this is what we've done, to the engaged segments, mixing in some win-back campaigns and obviously as well non-buyer specific messaging. So for your engaged segments, this can either be, let's say, people who have opened or clicked within a certain time frame. Normally we go for about 30 to nearly 120 days. Also for your win-back campaigns as well, this would be for people who might have purchased before, but they haven't purchased for, let's say, a certain amount of time. And again, that time frame is going to depend on how frequently people are purchasing your product. For a supplement that people might purchase on a monthly basis, if we don't see that customer coming back in a 90-day period, they'll probably be in our win-back series, or segment, I should say. However, if you're selling something like furniture, that sales cycle is much, much longer. So you'll need to revisit that if you're dealing with a product that doesn't really have that high of a replenishment rate in the business. So thirdly, our designs were people focused, not product focused. And what I mean by that is, more particularly, this was a skincare client. So rather than sending emails that include just product all the time, we showed off images with people using the product, images of models, and obviously just adding that human feel to the whole messaging that we were sending out. Because if you send a email and a customer opens it straight away, they see a product, they know they're being sold to, and it's just giving that person that extra reason to click off of your email. In my experience, that's not to say that product emails don't work, but we've found better engagement with images of people and obviously showing that human element as well. Really importantly, the copy spoke directly to the customer's pain points. This is where your in-depth market research will come in useful. So you need to be speaking to their pain points. And in this case, it was skincare, as I mentioned. So pain points could include suffering from acne, dry skin, oily skin. And we're hitting on these exact pain points and positioning the product as the solution to those pain points. So lastly, A/B testing. This is a very, very crucial part of your entire strategy. So it is crucial that you test consistently. And here's just a few examples of what we tested to make sure that your revenue stays on that upward trajectory. And before I actually go into that, if you're setting up, let's say, an automated flow structure, let's say you're setting up a welcome series, and you leave that welcome series stay stagnant, you're not constantly optimizing it, that's going to diminish over time. You need to be constantly updating what kind of messaging, what subject lines, preview text, copy, design that you're sending to your customers. Because if you just leave it, or even worse, if you just don't test at all, you're not going to know what's going to work for, or what's converting for your brand or for your clients. So it's really, really important that you're constantly testing, and don't be afraid to test new and wild things, obviously provided that the client or it's on brand, but provided that the client is okay with that, or if you're a brand, provided that it's on brand for you. Don't be afraid to test kind of out of the box things, because sometimes, more often than not, they tend to convert better than just thinking inside the box. I know that's pretty vague, but just try to get a bit creative with the way you're testing and what you're testing as well. So to get into it, the things that we tested were sign-up offers. So this is going to be the biggest lever that you can pull when it comes to getting people into your email list. So primarily the offers that we test would be let's say X% off. So it could be 10% off, 15% off, 5% off. They're just random examples. Or else it could be a dollar amount off, or a euro or pounds, wherever you're from, off the first order. Alternatively, you could do free gift with purchase as well. That might actually salvage some of your margin if you're a brand, because if you can find a free gift that is obviously inexpensive to you in terms of cost of goods sold, that means that you can save margin. And obviously, a lot of the times it tends to convert quite well if you give a free gift with purchase. Another thing that we've noticed work really well for some brands is PDF guides. So obviously this depends on the quality of the guide as well, and like how attractive that would be to the customer. But we have noticed with some of our clients that PDF guides work exceptionally well. So that is something that I would test out as well, because if you're doing a PDF guide, you're not throwing away any margin. So it's really, really valuable. But other than that, so preview text, time delays. This relates to time delays between emails within flows. Obviously send times for campaigns, so testing the morning versus the evening. From my experience, we found that we get quite high open rates in both the morning and the evening. The morning tends to be a small bit higher. However, conversions are much better in the evening time. And obviously that makes sense because people are at home after work or after their job or whatever they're doing. They might be relaxing or after dinner on their phone. They have that bit more time to spend and to actually make a purchase. There's a smaller segment of people who are actually able to make a purchase at, like, let's say 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the morning, because that person could be at work or they could be busy. So again, that's just something that we found with the A/B test that we've been running. Again, plain text versus design. Plain text convert exceptionally well for all of the clients that we work with. And we tend to send a decent amount of plain text emails. But again, this is all to be tested. Plain text emails would also depend on the brand that you have as well. So for fashion, plain text emails can be fine for sales reminders, but it's much more common to use plain text emails if you're a health brand, supplements, skincare, because you can talk about much more pain points in a plain text fashion as opposed to if you were fashion, no pun intended. If you're a fashion or if you're selling clothes. But obviously you need to test this for your own brand to see which one would convert the best. And last but not least, copy. However, I will say that obviously testing copy is a good move. However, if you have a good base copy, it might be a better idea to test something like send time, subject lines, preview text, call to action buttons, because if you have a good base copy, and provided that it's decent and you're hitting on pain points, I wouldn't really say that we would test copy all too often, provided that the elements in the rest of the email are quite good. So that is a wrap of the 4 key components of how we've generated our client 163,000 in just 90 days with email marketing. Now, last but not least, I will say that if you are a brand doing over 50,000 in monthly revenue, you can click the link in the description for a free consultation call with me personally, and we'll run you over how Agency Media might slot into your brand and help you skyrocket your email and SMS marketing revenue. But at the very least, I hope you guys got some value from this. Again, if you guys have any questions, drop a question in the comment section, or you can reach out to me at any of my social media handles in the description as well. So hopefully you guys enjoy this, and hopefully I will see you very soon.